This is the video for lesson number 21, Solving and Graphing Compound Inequalities. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to solve and graph compound inequalities that use the word AND. You will break up the compound inequality into two inequalities to solve and graph. So I'd like you to think back to class today when we used the Oreo example, just like this. Remember, wouldn't it be so awesome if two people pulled apart an Oreo and both of the people pulling it apart got cream on their side of the cookie? That would be really, really cool. Now that usually doesn't happen. However, we are going to continue using this idea to break apart our compound inequalities. So let's take a look at example 1. Solve and graph the following compound inequality. So remember, we want to take it apart just like we would with our Oreos. So you want to find the cookies first, and the cookies are our inequality signs. So there should be two of them. Take a look at what's in the middle of the cookie here, the good stuff. In this case, it's 3x plus 1. So we are going to rewrite the inequality as two separate inequalities. So we are going to take what's all the way on the left of our first cookie here and rewrite it. Bring down that inequality sign and the good stuff that's in the middle, 3x plus 1. Make sure you bring down all of it. Then let's write our other inequality. We will use the word AND, okay, because we don't see a keyword, so we know that when two inequalities are put together, they are really joined by the word AND. Take that good stuff that's in the middle, 3x plus 1. Bring down the inequality sign, the other cookie, and rewrite what's on the right. Now that you have broken it down into two inequalities, you can solve each of them and graph the solution set. So I'm going to rewrite this one here. And my goal is to solve for x, just like I would with an equation. So let's minus 1 from both sides. Negative 8 minus 1 is negative 9. Then let's divide by 3 to get x alone. And here we have negative 3 is less than or equal to x. Remember that you can rewrite this if you'd like, so that way x is on the left. The sign is opening up to the x, so it still must open up to the x here. Now let's go ahead and solve the other inequality. To solve for x here, I will minus 1. Now if you look back to our inequality on the left, that was also our first step. It was that we minus 1 from both sides. Now our next step is going to be divide by 3, just like it was over here on the left. And here we have x is less than 4. Now what we're going to do is graph this on a number line. And since I'm graphing two inequalities, I'm going to mark negative 3, 4, and 0 on my number line. Now it's time to graph each of these. So, the one on the left, x is greater than or equal to negative 3. I'm going to use a closed circle because it's equal to, and I will start to head towards the right. Think about what happened in class today when we graphed our AND statements. And then x is less than 4. I will make an open circle. Less is to the left. And I start going this way. Remember that these two inequalities are going to meet up in the middle because they are an AND statement. And here you have the graph, your two endpoints, and one nice line in the middle. Also, what we're going to do is always rewrite your final answer as a compound statement. So I'm going to take this inequality and this one and merge them together to write my final answer. Or I can look at my number line. So my endpoints were negative 3 and 4. The graph represented x, so that will go in the middle. We had over here x is greater than or equal to -3, so I will still rewrite it that way, and x is less than 4. And here's my inequality that represents the solution to the inequality from example 1. Let's try example 2. Okay, solve and graph the following compound inequality. So I see my two inequality signs. Let's circle them and pretend that these are our cookies from the Oreo. Take a look at that good stuff that's in the middle. And let's break this up. So that good stuff in the middle is going to go to the left and to the right. So we have -7 is less than 2x minus 5. Our key word here is and. Please be sure to use that word. Over here on the right, take that stuff in the middle, 2x minus 5, and attach it to the inequality on the right. Let's rewrite the two of them and solve. So, to get x alone, I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Then I'm going to divide by 2. And x is now by itself. X is greater than -1, or we may rewrite it just like that. When you're ready, rewrite the second inequality and solve that one also. Remember, our steps are always going to be the same, so if I added 5 first over here, it is now time to add 5 over here to get x alone. Over here I divided by 2 on my second step, so now it's time to divide by 2. And we have x alone. X is less than or equal to 6. Now that we have our inequality solved, it's time to graph. The numbers I am using here are -1, 6, and 0. So -1 is my smallest number. 0 should be nearby, but 6 should be a little bit further away. Okay, we want to try to graph this precisely as we can. So let's start with this one. X is greater than -1. I'm going to use an open circle because it's not equal to, and I'm going to start to head towards the right because x is greater than -1. Over here, x is less than or equal to 6. I will use a closed circle because it's equal to, and head to the left. Since my two inequalities have merged together or intersected, I will make this line nice and bold. Here are my endpoints. 6 is closed, and -1 is open. Let's rewrite our final answer as a compound inequality. -1 is on the left, 6 on the right, x in the middle, and bring your signs over. So x is greater than, still stay that way, and then x is less than or equal to. I will bring it down like that. And there we have the inequality that represents our solution set. Please turn the page when you're ready and go to example 3. Notice this time, I don't guide you through the steps, so we must recall them on our own. Look for those two cookies, those two inequality signs that separates the sides. Look for the good stuff in the middle that we would hope or like to get attached to both of those inequalities, both of those cookies. And now let's break it up. So what's on the left? I'm going to take the stuff in the middle and everything to the left and rewrite it. Using the word and. Don't forget about that. And I'm going to take the good stuff in the middle and rewrite it with what appears to the right of it. And I'm going to solve. So if you'd like at this point, you can pause the video and then watch it to see how you did, or you can still follow along with me. To get x alone, I must get rid of our constant, the 3 over here. Then I'm going to divide by 3 to isolate my x. So we have -2 is less than or equal to x, or we can rewrite it, still opening up to the x, which now reads x is greater than or equal to -2. Over here on the right, I can still follow the steps I did over here, or since it's a little bit more complex, the steps might be slightly different. So let's see what happens. I can -3 from both sides, making sure I put it underneath the 10 because they are like terms. Now this time, I'm not ready to divide by 3 yet because I have a variable that appears on both sides, so I must get them together. I'm going to -2x from both sides, and I end up with 1x, or just x, is less than or equal to 7. So sometimes our steps might be different from what we do on the left versus what we do on the right. As long as you solve for x and get it alone, you are correct. It's graphing time since our variables are alone. My numbers that I need are -2, 7, and 0. So -2, 0, and make sure that 7 is further apart. You shouldn't really have 0 in the middle there, and -2 and 7 be the same distance away, because that's not really accurate. Let's graph this one. X is greater than or equal to -2, means a closed circle. I'm going to head towards the right, keeping in mind what's going to happen, and a closed circle on 7 because it's less than or equal to. Less is to the left, and voila, my two inequalities have intersected. So it's just one line in the middle of our two endpoints, both of which have closed circles. Lastly, we rewrite our final answer as a compound statement. So we have -2 on the left, 7 on the right, x is somewhere in the middle. Bring over your signs. It should be the same sign that you have here, and the same sign that you have over here. So we have x can be greater than or equal to -2, and x must be less than or equal to 7. And all of our solutions are represented on our number line. The last part of today's worksheet, you are going to try this on your own, so you will solve and graph it just like we did above and with the questions on the front. Please pause the video at this time, try it on your own. When you press play, the answer will pop up. So please press pause now. So here you have it. The answer here down below in this little cloud bubble is x is greater than or equal to -2, and x is less than 5. So our value of x can be any number in between here or -2. Make sure you have a closed circle on -2 and open on the right. Hope you did a good job. Please jot down any questions that you have that we can answer in class tomorrow, and have a good night. Thank you.